Hey guys, welcome back to the next video in our webscaping in Python series. In this video, we are going to understand about the key terms which are involved when we interact with an API. So let's discuss them one by one. So I'll just start writing here. An API involves two things, one and two. So the first thing which it involves is authentication. So every time you go for API, you have to do authentication. And another thing is involved is authorization. I'll just write authorization here. Now, what is authentication? So, in authentication, what happens? You tell actually the browser who are you. So, we actually answer this question who we are. Browser asks us and we authenticate ourselves by telling who we are. Similarly, for authorization, so actually the browser let us know that we can access these things in that case. All right. Another which is very important thing which generally comes when we use APIs is API key. So API key is something which is unique to us, and this key is used in the request library to do our purpose of fetching data. So with your API key, you can fetch the data which is unique to you and the real time and the right data. So what exactly happens when you have an API key, you pass it this API key. So suppose you have a Coinbase account and this Coinbase account has given you an API key. Now using this API key, you can ask the server that this is my API key, so you need to pass your API key. Now give me this data which I am asking for because I am authorized for this data, and this authorization came with some guidelines. So what you can actually explore and what you cannot, that is mentioned in those. So another thing which I wanted to let you know is that you pass your API key in the headers when you are working with the request library. In the headers you write your API key. Similarly, there is a function which is auth, and this function is also used to authenticate. So if you remember, we were using get function, and by now we have only explored get function in the request library. This get URL actually has options of what we have seen by now is parameters. Then there is an option of authentication which comes here. Then there is option of headers, and in these headers we mention the API key. Okay. So yeah, there are more options, but we'll explore those options once we reach there. But for just to let you know what exactly is interacting with API looks like, so that is what it is, and I think that is all for this video. I'll see you in the next one.